Hello, my name is Nathan McCoy, and I'm here with another music theory tutorial. In this tutorial, we will explore the circle of fourths and fifths and learn how to correctly spell our major scales. Knowing how to spell your major scales correctly is a vital step to becoming a competent musician, especially if you're an instrumentalist.
Before we get started spelling our major scales, let's do a quick review. The order of flats is B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat. A simple method we reviewed in order to determine which note you should begin on for your flat keys was to simply look at the second to last flat. The second to last flat shown in your key signature is your tonic, do, or first scale degree. This worked for all keys except for the key of F. We also highlighted that method. For now, just know that the key of F has one flat. The order of sharps, if you recall, was the order of flats in reverse. They are F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. The method to find your major key name, tonic, or do, your first scale degree, was simply to look at the final sharp in the key signature, and from that note, go up 1/2 step. We were mindful of the enharmonic equivalents of E sharp and B sharp. What you see now is a graphic organizer of all of the common key signatures. This is commonly referred to as the circle of fifths or the circle of fourths and fifths, which we will explain later. It is often recommended that you imagine a clock when looking at this. 12 o'clock would be C major with no sharps or flats. 1 o'clock would be G major with 1 sharp. 2 o'clock would be D major with 2 sharps. That pattern continues all the way to 7 sharps. On the flat side of the circle of fifths, you find F major at 11 o'clock with 1 flat, B flat major with 2 flats at 10 o'clock, E flat major at 9 o'clock with 3 flats, with that pattern continuing all the way to 7 flats. As we move through this tutorial, you may hear me reference this circle of fifths as both the circle of fifths or as the circle of fourths and fifths. Both iterations are correct, and we'll explain why right now. To drive this point home, let's consider adjacent keys. Let's look at C and G. C has no sharps or flats, and G has 1 sharp. Let's count up in our alphabet from C to G. C, D, E, F, G. That's 5 notes, a fifth. Is this the only way we can get to G from C? Is there another way? Let's try counting descending backwards to the left from C. C, B, A, G. That's a fourth. The distance from C to G is both a fourth and a fifth, depending on which way you go. If you descend in the scale, C to G is a fourth. If you ascend in the scale, C to G is a fifth. An inverted fifth is a fourth. Likewise, an inverted fourth is a fifth. Each adjacent key in the circle of fourths and fifths is either a fourth or a fifth apart, depending on which way you go in the scale. Now that we have a basic understanding of the circle of fourths and fifths, let's try to spell some scales. First, I'd like to caution you, however, with the following example. Read the sentence on the screen out loud. As you can see, you probably uttered a coherent sentence, even though the word great is spelled incorrectly. For performance purposes, no one will know if you are thinking of a G flat or an F sharp as you play one of your scale degrees. But for theory purposes, if you ever write it down, it is very important that you spell the correct note. Consider this scale that you see before you. If you were to play D, F flat, F sharp, A double flat, A natural, B, C, and C double sharp, you would most certainly play what sounds exactly like the D major scale. Theoretically speaking, though, this is spelled incorrectly. While it sounds right, it is spelled wrong. Not only is it spelled wrong, but it even appears wrong on the staff. All diatonic scales move alphabetically. Adjacent notes on the staff are also adjacent notes in the alphabet. If you have some kind of E in a major scale, the next note should be some kind of F, whether it's flat, natural, or sharp. The following note after that F should be some kind of G, whether it's flat, sharp, or natural. I like to refer to notes by their first and last name, their first name being the name of the note that they are based on their position on the staff, A, B, C, D, E, F, or G, and their last name being either flat, sharp, or natural. For diatonic scale purposes, the first name of the note will always move to the next note in the alphabet. If you notice in the incorrect example shown, we have 2 kinds of F's, 2 kinds of A's, and 2 kinds of C's in this scale. Now consider the correctly written D major scale. It is D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. Notice that if there is a line note, the following note is a space note, and if there is a space note, the following note is a line note. With diatonic scales, notes placed on a space of the staff will always move to the adjacent line, and notes on a line of the staff will always move to the adjacent space. Okay, let's spell some scales. Let's start off with the key of B. Using your circle of fifths, or reversing the methods we used in the previous tutorial, you will know that the key of B has 5 sharps. Our first step is to write the alphabet, though, from B to B. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. We now have the 8 first name notes of the scale. Now we've got to add 5 sharps in the order of sharps. Remember, they are F, C, G, D, and A. Now you have a correctly spelled B scale. Let's consider the key of A flat now. Using your circle of fifths, or reversing the method of how you determine your flat keys, you will know that the key of A flat has 4 flats. Let's first write our alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. We now have all the first name notes for the A flat scale. Now let's add our flats. As we said, the key of A flat has 4 flats. They are B, E, A. There's 4 flats there now, right? We have 4 flats on the screen, is that right? Are we done? No, the key of A flat has A flat as its tonic and is played twice. That flat only accounts for one of the flats. We still need one more. So let's add D. B, E, A, D. We have now correctly spelled the A flat scale. As I just demonstrated, a common mistake my students often make is counting the tonic flat twice. Make sure you look to the order of flats and make sure all of the flats in that order of flat are accounted for based on the amount of flats in the key signature. Now that you understand how to spell your major scales, you can complete the accompanying learning resources available directly from me.
I hope this tutorial has given you a better understanding of how to correctly spell your major scales. Keep checking back for more music theory videos. Thanks for watching.